Okay, so football fans, I have a question for you, especially people who are fans of the Seattle Seahawks. I'll get to what I mean in a minute, but right after a word from our sponsor. Don't go anywhere.
Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just text NEW CAR to 88909 right now to get started. That's NEW CAR to 88909. Auto financing the easy way. Text NEW CAR to 88909.
So, if you're a fan of football, you understand that there are certain positions in football that get paid more and some that get punished more. And then there are some that are more of superstars. I, for one, am a fan of the Seattle Seahawks. And I was a fan from long before they got their rush to superstardom when they won a Super Bowl. I was there back when they were not so good and when they made it to the last Super Bowl and failed. That's how long I've been a fan. You're talking about '05. Well, recently, there was a running back that helped us win our first Super Bowl. His name is Marshawn Lynch. Now, Marshawn Lynch is from Oakland, and is rough around the edges the right word? He has, it's more than rough. Extremely rough around the edge. In fact, it's ripped paper all the way around. Ain't nothing cut about his edges. He just gives it to you in the raw, and if you don't like it, that's on you. Meanwhile, his QB has always come across as, former QB. Whew, we saved a bullet with that trade. Anyway, former QB, Russell Wilson, has always portrayed himself as this stand-up, good, dignified, Christian black guy. Okay. Now, if you looked at the two, you couldn't have a more stark difference in personality and upbringing. One single mom, streets of Oakland, hood as can be. One father was there until the father passed away. Family nucleus was intact. Had some funds. The father played for the for the Chargers at one point. So it was a very different upbringing. Now you would think that with Marshawn being rough around the edges so much and being more street, that Russell, being the kind of person that he is, claiming that he's a Christian, would be the kind of person that would be eagerly reaching out to someone like Marshawn to try and see, perhaps, maybe if you can be more than just a friend to him and bring him into the fold as one of the team. Well, recently Marshawn sat down with a Sharp, one of the Sharp brothers, the one that would Skip Bayless, and on his little program. And he was asked specifically about his relationship with Russell Wilson. Just listen to this little clip real quick.
I reached out to our player personnel, dude, and like, hey, man, let me get Russ' number. Call him, holla at him. I'll call you back. So then, he called me back like, hey, did you get a call? I'm like, no. He's like, no, Russ just said he called you. I'm like, no, I got a call from a blocked number. He's like, oh, that's him. I'm like,
relationship outside of football.
No, there's no.
Now, the topic of his conversation is a crazy one, because today we have a lot of people that say, I'm a Christian, but I'm pro-choice. I'm a Christian, but I'm pro this. I'm a Christian, but it's always a but. I would categorize Russell Wilson as that, a but Christian. I mean, you can put two T's on the end of but, and he'd fit that too because of who his wife is, but I digress. He's a but Christian. I'm a Christian, but I ain't gonna be friends with you. I'm a Christian, but I can't give you my number. I'm a Christian, but. Meanwhile, on the other end, you espouse a whole different side to you that you think everyone will buy as the clean-cut, well-talking, an influential person, and you're friends to everyone. He's even gone behind the pulpit and talked about Marshawn like they talk every day.
Marshawn, man, he's a guy that I can always. He's always been amazing. You know, just how he's gone about things and how he's been such an amazing competitor. One of the best people I've ever played with. You know, and been in the backfield with, obviously. So, I've always looked up to him ever since being a young rookie, and he put his arm around me in the back of the bus, and we'd talk about ball and everything else. So
now here's Marshawn saying, "Wait, I ain't never talked to that boy. I tried calling him at his number. That's a blocked number. He called me back from a blocked number. I've never had his phone number. I even reached out to him, and this is what took place." So explain that. How can you, in one breath, say that you're something, and in another breath, act completely different? Some people say, okay, that's hypocrisy. Or, hear me out, it's not hypocrisy at all. It could be that you were never the first to begin with. It could be that you are in word only a Christian, but when it comes down to the actual interaction, you're not. Now, if Russell had the balls, he would have told Marshawn, look, man, I have a life I'm living, and it's a believer's life. The things you want to invite me to bond over, I could never come to and bond over. Football is one thing, but I can't be and associate with you the way you live. As much as I appreciate you as a teammate, I have to keep myself separate from that type of lifestyle. If he had even been a man enough to say that to Marshawn Lynch, I would have appreciated, and I'm sure Marshawn would have too, because he is a straight shooter. If I don't want to hang out with you, I ain't want to hang out with you. But the fact that Marshawn was reaching out, and the only thing you could do is act as though you live on God's throne itself, it tells me a lot about what kind of walk you have. Now, I will tell people straight out, I ain't gonna hang out with you. Why? Because you live a certain way. It's that easy. I don't hate you, but I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where I'm gonna feel uncomfortable around you. I'm not doing that. It compromises a very core belief. So it tells me that there are people that say, I'm Christian, and are not. And then there are some people that will say, I don't believe in God, but they act a whole lot more like God would. Meaning, spade's a spade, right is right, wrong is wrong, to them. I'm not saying by the plumb line arranged by God that they are right, but they have more of a moral stance based on their own compass than most Christians do based on God's. That should tell you volumes. If man today, saying that they're Christian, hold a plumb line for themselves that's not of God, but say it is, and then they will look at you and act completely contrary, they are a wolf. We've been saying a while now that Russell's a wolf, and that's kind of factual. But the proof is in the pudding in the past. If you don't want to have association with the darkness, be frank enough to say so. If you don't believe that this person is influential on you in the right way and you're trying to live a certain way, be frank about it. But don't act as though you're the person's friend, you got their back, you want to be in their world, and then when it comes down to it, it's all a lie. In a situation like this with Marshawn and Russell, I think I'd much rather have a person like Marshawn in my world that's willing to tell me the hard thing, be frank with me, be straight up, than a two-faced individual that doesn't know up from down, left from right, like Russell Wilson.